what happens is they get that breakthrough. They get to a level to where they finally know the why behind what they're doing.
What are the best kind of guitar lessons? So if you're saying you need some lessons, more than likely in some way, shape, or form, what are the best kind? Where do I start?
Yeah, again, great question. So there's a zillion different methods to learn guitar out there, right? Or let's just call it channels. There's a bunch of different channels that you can use to get information about the guitar. For example, nowadays we have cell phones and they have apps, right? That maybe they play little games or something that you can learn guitar on. There's obviously books. There's in-person teachers. There is online courses. There are online classes. There's a ton of different things. And this is going to sound way too simple at first, but I really want you to be thinking about this when you go out there and you're looking for what you should be doing. You want to do what works. So different people are different, right? People are wired in different ways. Some people learn visually. Some people learn by hearing things through audio. Some people learn only through experience. Some people have to make mistakes before they learn, oh, I should do that. I need to do this. So people learn in different ways. Um, Most of the methods of guitar that you're going to be learning are incorporating what's called it's multimodal learning, which means more than one of the modes of learning, which means visual or auditory or experiential, whatever. Um, the thing that you have to consider and look out for is two things really. One, how do you learn? How do you like to learn? If you look back through your past, in times when you can think of where you learned the most, or where you really maybe understood a concept, maybe from school, or maybe from a project that you did, or maybe from somebody that you worked with, or anything. If you can think back to a time where you really learned something, you really enjoyed it, and um, you really remember it, right? You think about the mode in which you learned. Were you there with somebody? Were you reading a book? Do you remember a lot of books, etc.? That can be an indicator on the direction that you should go in, at least to start, right? At least to start with your guitar playing. Ultimately, well, let me back up. I'll get to the ultimate step here in a second. Um, if you look at a nonfiction book, a nonfiction book is a book that's not a made up story. It's like, let's say, a business book or a personal development book or a how to book. Let's call it a how to book. A how to book, let's say there's somebody who has, I don't know, played football for 30 years. And they take all that 30 years of knowledge, they condense it down into a perfect outline of all the key steps and the key things that you need to know, um, to enhance your football playing or to get better at football or to play a certain position or even to, how to coach a team or whatever it is. They condense all their knowledge down to this one medium, which is a book, right? A modern version of that on steroids is a course. And the reason courses can be so effective if they're organized, if they address the subject that you want to learn, and obviously if they help you overcome your specific challenges. There's a bunch of ifs in there. But the reason is because it's a multimodal approach, which means you get to learn by watching, through video in-person instruction. It's not actually in person, but it's like in-person instruction. You get to, at least the way we do it, you get to read the action steps or the things that you need to be doing. And then also there may be some visuals, right? Some charts or some tabs or whatever it is that you need to use for resources, and also the audio part. So you can hear somebody playing something. You can watch them in a video playing it, or you can hear them playing it, or you can listen to a track of somebody playing something, or playing them playing something in the background when you're supposed to be playing. And all of that is recorded for you. It's there for you to have and to review and to go at your own pace. Now, if you a book can do the same thing, but there's not that visual movement part, right? It's missing a part of the mode, is what I'm saying. The games that are out there, like on the apps, personally, I've never seen one that can actually teach somebody how to play real guitar. I mean, it can be fun for a little while, but you're not going to become a pro guitar player by using an app. You're just not. The only other alternative, and this is the experience that I've seen over and over and over again, the people that progress the most tend to find a particular, like a course. A lot of people start out with books. They don't find exactly the answer that they're looking for. Actually, let me do the full spectrum here. Most people try to teach themselves in the beginning. They get frustrated, they play the same old stuff, they get stuck, etc. And then maybe they ask friends or whoever it is. Eventually, some of them start buying books, and you can make a little bit of progress, or you can at least gain a little bit of knowledge with books. But the problem becomes you can't really apply it. You can't ask a book a question. You don't know what to do. You just get stuck. In fact, there are two specific books that I bought from Princeton. Two books full of scales. They were each 200 pages. And I thought I was going to be so smart, like, oh man, I'm going to learn all these scales. I'm going to learn how to play the guitar up and down the neck, all that stuff. I never made it past like the second page on either one of those things. They just went right to the trash can. And that happens over and over and over again. So eventually, what I noticed is that the guitar players start to make the most progress. They find that breakthrough moment when they find somebody who basically teaches to that point that they're at in their journey. And most guitar players get stuck at a certain point, but when they find a teacher, someone who can talk to where they are in their journey and help them overcome their challenges and how to open a new level, basically open up a whole new world on the fretboard and get to that next level so they can see what they've been missing, that's really the point where I see guitar players start to take off. And that point, in my experience, usually happens through a course, a good course, a good organized course. I've been part of a lot of courses that honestly, most of them just go way too fast in terms of they'll want you to start at the very beginning with one chord, and then the next lesson they have you playing a scale, then the next lesson they have you playing an arpeggio. It's like you're just not, nobody is going to advance that quickly. It's just not going to happen. So usually when somebody finds a nice, good step-by-step course that meets their pace, that helps them see that next level, what happens is they get that breakthrough. They get to a level to where they finally know the why behind what they're doing. They finally know, how do I navigate the fretboard? How can I play, etc. And then this is the final level. The final level is the people who make it to, quote, the top are like the best players, the guys that are just like the best, right? You get there through interacting with people directly who are already there. There's just no exceptions to that. There's so many nuances. There's so many little things that somebody needs to point out to you or to tell you or to get you to adjust. It's coaching, basically, is what it comes down to. For example, Joe Satriani, right? Steve Vai learned from Joe Satriani. So did Kirk Hammett. Jimi Hendrix learned from a guy named Billy Davis. And again, when you look into how do the top guys get to the top, it always comes down to some kind of personal interaction, showing you what to do, etc. But again, it's got to be the right person. It's got to be somebody who understands where you are and has already overcome that point, and it is somewhere where you want to be with your guitar playing, not a completely different style, where you want to be. So anyway, I know that was an extremely, extremely long answer, but I think that's the full answer to online guitar lessons.
Got it. Good. Yeah, I remember somebody specifically, a student from Breakthrough Guitar, talking to me one time, and he said his first lesson ever on the guitar, the teacher sat him down and tried to teach him the F major bar chord. That was his first first lesson, which if you don't know what that is, it hurts. Like, it hurts still to this day. It was on the first fret bar chord. My goodness gracious. So yeah, and it took me personally, I think 4 or 5 years when I was young to find something, but it's a pursuit. But once you find it, it's right and it sticks and it works. And it's funny that this is Breakthrough Guitar, because it's all about like finding what is that course, the person, whatever it may be, that gives you that breakthrough moment in the guitar, and really helps with that. So good. I just had to share the F major, so I think he probably knows who he is. So I'll wave to him here as well from that conversation. Hey there, and thanks for watching that video. That's just one of our shorter clips from the longer Q&A sessions we do a ton here at Breakthrough Guitar. And if you're interested in seeing those and seeing everything that we have here, I highly recommend you click the button right there and subscribe. Also, speaking of the other videos we do, feel free to click right over there to start digging into those and advancing your guitar playing. We look forward to it, and we will see you next time.